Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to
Nick at night, Nick at night. Oh, you're up with Nick at night, yeah.
And tonight I'm going to be giving you guys an update to a story that I reported some months back. We finally got a kind of conclusion or a wrap to the story. So I'm going to be bringing you guys what is going on with the goings-ons in this story.
In the murder trial for Virginia Beach native Isamemen Etute, after deliberating for 3 hours, a jury found the former Virginia Tech football player not guilty. 19-year-old Etute was accused of beating 40-year-old Jerry Smith to death in Blacksburg 1 year ago. Prosecutors say Etute met Smith after the pair matched on the dating app Tinder. They say Etute thought he was meeting a woman. On the stand, Etute claimed he acted in self-defense. He says he thought Smith was reaching for a gun.
Now, a lot of people were shocked at the outcome. A lot of people had a lot of opinions on what they thought the real was. And I'm just going to kind of give y'all a quick breakdown, and then I'm going to show you guys my previous coverage on it. Now, this college student was going to college, had a very bright future ahead in football, was very gifted and things like that, right? He decided to try to get him some booncha cat, cooncha cat, I don't know, some kind of kitty cat for the night, okay? So he decided to go on Tinder and browse and see what was available and what was, or who was about that action. So he came across a profile of some 40-year-old woman, okay, going by the name of Angie. Now, Angie turned out to not be really Angie, but, Randy. Not really Randy. I forget what the real name was, but turned out to be a man. Okay, and they got it on. So they went and they met up, and, the college student claimed that when he went to the residence, he got paid $50 for some hanky-panky, and the Angie person to perform acts on him. Okay, so I'm like, was he like a gigolo for the night or whatever? Like, I don't know. But anyways, so he meets up with this Angie person who turns out to not be Angie at all, but rather a man posing as Angie. He goes, the house is very, very dimly lit. It's very really, really dark. And he gets a really good, happy ending, okay? So after he gets his sloppy toppy 3,000 and he gets paid his $50, Angie was on the prowl to get hooked up by some more individuals. And it turns out the night that he got his sloppy toppy 3,000, he was also accompanied by a friend who was like, this is weird. And the friend wasn't with it. Okay, so on the first encounter, him and his homeboy, who was also another football player, they both were supposed to receive sloppy toppy 3,000. However, once his teammate got up there and followed him in, he felt like something was sketchy about it and declined to get anything performed on him from Angie because he felt scared and something wasn't right. So in a court testimony, the football player Emery Deshaun Elder, he testified that on the first encounter that Etute had on April 10th, he said that he went to the apartment with Etute so that they both can get sloppy toppy performed on them. Elder said after following Angie and Etute upstairs to the bedroom, he felt scared. It was dark and I just didn't like the atmosphere, he said. He said he then pretended to use his phone and left the apartment because something just didn't feel right. So after this, where his homeboy was also supposed to get sloppy toppy and was like, something is off about this, and dipped, the guy Etute, he then decided to block Angie after that because he received his $50. His friend felt something was sketchy and he decided to then block him. Okay, so after they left, they go about their day. It appears that the guy Jerry Smith, who passed away and was posing as Angie, it appears that hooking up with two individuals at a time seemed to be Jerry's thing. Now, in the meantime, from the April 10th date and then the day of May, whatever it was, where he met his untimely demise, he had been on the prowl trying to slang that booncha cat to anybody that would take it. Jerry Smith was on Tinder trying to seek out dates on Tinder and reaching out to other people on the football team and anybody around town. Also, Jerry was also on Facebook trying to solicit that booncha cat to anybody who would take it, and continuing to like pressure people to try to come up in that booncha cat. Now, as you can see, a lot of the people was like, if you don't get out of my inbox, and turned Angie down. Well, the next encounter that we would hear from Angie would be when his friend, Atute's friend, decided that he wanted to go get sloppy toppy from Angie.
Investigators say another Virginia Tech football player, Jalen Hampton, had met up with Angie the day Smith was killed and called Atute to discuss whether they thought Angie was a man or not. Lawyers in court said that they planned to confront Angie, which is when Atute went back to Angie's apartment. The two had another sexual encounter before Atute discovered Smith was a man and allegedly beat him to death.
Now, this is a totally different friend from the first friend that went with him and felt like something was weird. Okay, so the first friend was Deshaun. The second friend, I believe, was Jalen. So Jalen decided to go try to get him some sloppy toppy or whatever. And when he went into the apartment, he felt like, oh my God, this is weird. I might get set up. Something was off about it. And he got the inkling that he felt like Angie was really a man. So after he got the, like, hold up, let me call Atute, because Atute slang that wang to Angie and got $50. What did he feel about it? So the friends then called and basically teased Atute that he might have hooked up with a man. Okay, so after that, they pretty much devised a plan to go over there to see if Angie was really Angie, or if Angie had a little visitor down there in addition, an additional package. Okay. So what is odd to me is that Atute already had the inkling from the first encounter that something wasn't right, something was off. Then Atute gets a call from a friend who says, man, I think this is a man. Like, I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. I left. Like, let's see what's going on. So Angie, I guess they devised a plan that Angie was going to then, on the May date that Angie ended up losing his life, Angie was supposed to perform on both the friends that day too. So basically he goes there. He already gets teased by his friends. They already think that, this might be a man. And then he performs another sexual act with Angie. And then after that, he claims, according to him, he was hitting it from the back, and he used his cell phone to then see if Angie had an additional package. Once he realized that Angie had an additional package after he was hitting it from the back, that's when he said he felt violated. But my whole thing is, if your friends already put you up on game, like this might be, a man, and you not with that, you want to be having hanky-panky with a woman. Mind you, Jerry was 40 years old. The profile said 28, so that already was off. It wasn't even a 28-year-old girl. It was a 40-year-old man in a wig. Then you proceeded to then stick your wang in there again. And so I'm just like, so there was no other way to verify before you stuck your wanky back in there to see if this was a man when your friends already had inkling. But hey, teenagers, I don't know. I don't know, man. That just seems off. And the fact that a jury, and I understand, like, Jerry Smith, the individual, was definitely a creepy creep of the creeps, and he definitely needed to be behind bars for being a creep. Okay, and trying to trick people and catfish them and, trying to slang that booncha cat in a predatory way on people. Definitely deserve to have time for that. But I don't know about him just totally not knowing until the moment that he used the flashlight. Because according to him, the plan was to feel around Jerry's body to see if there was any male genitalia. But instead of feeling around the body to feel if there was any male genitalia, by your admission, you say it was you that basically insisted and pushed to have hanky-panky with Jerry. And that was your plan, like, let me actually push to do it. And then at that point, I could find out. But it's like, how do you go from, hey, I'm going to just feel around, to then you push for y'all to actually do it if you already knew your friends had already put you up on game, and then you say it wasn't until you was hitting it from the back point, then you got a flashlight or whatever, then you looked and you discovered, oh my God, golly whiz, my friends already told me, but oh my God, it's this particular moment that it dawns on me that by golly gee whiz, this is actually a man. And at that point, you feel violated suddenly, okay? And then from there, he says that Jerry started to look like he was reaching for a weapon, reaching for a gun. So he says, after I discovered Jerry was a man, I felt violated. After I felt violated, he goes to start reaching for something and keep on reaching like he about to reach over the bed. And then that's when he punched him into oblivion. And Jerry Smith, he started to burbling and gurgling on his way out. After he done beat him to a pulp, he then kicked him on his way out. And the detectives, they were like, okay, why did you do like the extra kick? Once he was on the ground, you still was hitting him, then on your way out, you kicked him again. And then he says that was to buy time so that Jerry couldn't shoot him. So his whole mind, he felt like, this guy's going to shoot me, this and that. And so then that's when you see him run out of the apartment and his friends run after him after that encounter. Now, when he went to the police station, he never mentioned the fact that there was this reach for a weapon and he thought that Jerry was going to shoot him and kill him and all that. He never said that until he got a lawyer, and then that's what the testimony was on the stand. So he was able to basically get acquitted of all charges because I guess they sided with him in favor of self-defense. They were able to uncover a little kitchen knife wedged between the mattress, and they determined that, okay, well, Jerry probably was trying to reach for this knife to kill him, and then instead, the poor gullible college student, he reacted and fought for his life. Okay, so that pretty much was it. Everybody went hurrah, hurrah. There was a lot of people in the court who were in support of this acquittal, and they felt like this was justice served. Now, the prosecutors felt like that is a whole heap of baloney. The prosecutor felt like y'all went over there, y'all knew y'all had a plan to, axe this man or whatever, and the prosecutor felt like it was premeditated. Now, the defense felt like, nah, he was innocent. They felt like, he totally had no idea. He had no intention on harming him. He just wanted to find out, if it was a man or not. And the plan was he was going to walk in, see if it was a man. And then if he found out it was a man, he was going to just run out. But if the plan was to walk over there to just see if he was a man, your friends is outside, how did your member end up in his behind? I don't know. But a jury, I guess they considered the facts that, Jerry is in fact a creepy creep. Now, he is definitely a creepy creep and was definitely trying to bait and switch and slang that booncha cat onto all of the, other people in the town. He was trying to reach several people underage and reach several individuals, trying to, give them the sloppy 3,000, the wang wang bend over thing. I don't know what, but he was trying to slang it. And so I guess in addition, they felt like this poor young boy was just innocent, gullible 18-year-old that was trying to get some coonch. Okay. Now, I don't know how they determined that there was no type of responsibility at all of upon the aspect of it being some type of premeditated. That I don't know. For me, I feel like I understand if you have an encounter with somebody, you meet with them on a dating app, right? And you think you're meeting with this woman. And then in the midst of the encounter, then you feel around and you find out that there's an extra package and then you freak out. I can understand that. But what I can't understand is how he had one encounter. His homeboy was also supposed to get sloppy toppy. His homeboy immediately was like, this is weird. This is sketchy. I'm out. And his friend left. He got another friend who said, yo, I went over here. Something is weird. I think this is a man. This is not cool. Then you then go again, and then your member ends up in his pootatang. And then at that point, then you discover that it's a man, and then you feel violated. Like, this is different from people who are truly, truly blindsided, because there are people who are truly tricked. They don't know, they weren't really thinking or whatever, and they just really didn't know they got tricked. He had too many people alerting him that something was off for his swang to end up back in his thang in the back. And then not only did it end up back there, you insisted and pushed for it while your friends was waiting outside. I don't know if he thought well, let me, I don't know if he felt like that was like a good excuse. Like, well, how else would I come to determine that it's not a man, a woman? Like, I gotta insert, right? Like, no, any other guy, who was really pressing to try to figure out, is you a woman or is you a man? They gonna come up in there. They not gonna act like, well, let me try to act like I'm doing it. No, they're gonna be like, prove to me that you ain't a man. Drop your pants. Let me see. Let me see the front. Let me see the back. And I don't think that anybody who has all of the red flags that he had is going to say, you know what? Let me find out by sticking my wang wang back there. And you already is there to find out if it's a man or a woman already. Like, that's the mission. I don't know. Something is weird about that. But like I said, Jerry is a certified creepy creep. And when I covered this the first time, I talked about how there was a lot of people who came out saying stories of weird encounters that they had with him, connections that he had with, I think it was, I can't remember, but I'll replay the video. You guys will be able to see. But a lot of people felt like there was weird stuff happening with him trying to reach out to people, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to just insert part of my previous video, and then that's going to be that. But y'all tell me what is given. What's it given? He was acquitted. He free to live his life, continue his journey on in college and everything like that. Jerry was dead wrong for pretending to be what he said he was, and he wasn't what he said he was. But Mr. Atute, I feel like you knew. But hey, I don't know. Let me roll my previous video, child. If you haven't made your way to my website yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, but I want you to pause it and make your way over there after this video to check out all of the new goodies that I have available and in store. You can find the link in the description box. Since this story has broke out, since this story has came out, there has been a lot of other people who have accused the victim, Jerry Smith, of doing very lewd and crude acts to young men. There has been a lot of allegations that he has taken advantage of young men. There has been allegations that he has roofied other gentlemen, and even people started to pour in receipts of interactions that they had with this Blacksburg profile under the name Angie Renee. Okay. There was a lot of receipts on the internet. Even co-workers came forward and said that not only was this incident disturbing, but they were also hinting that he had a history of abuse to younger colleagues, younger gentlemen, going after them. And there was even an allegation from somebody who is alleging to be a co-worker saying that allegedly, now I have not confirmed or verified who this co-worker is, as they wrote this post anonymously, but they are alleging that they worked with him in one of his organizations, and at some job that he was fired because of these very actions, going after and seeking out young men. So basically how this came about was there was people who were writing on all kind of threads. There was people coming out with stories on Facebook. There was people who were coming out on Reddit. And there was a lot of people who were coming out saying that they too were a victim of Jerry Smith. Now, again, like I said, the person who said that they worked for them, I'm going to read what they had to say about it. So this person says, from a Blacksburg townie, I would like to offer some insight. Jerry Smith, an openly gay man, nothing wrong with that, has been fired from local establishments for sexually harassing young men. I am a credible source, as I was a co-worker at said previous establishment. Before this event took place, it was widely rumored that Jerry had been slipping drugs into students' drinks at the local bar, and he worked at El Centro Taco Bar. Not to speak ill of the dead, but stating facts. Jerry had a reputation as a predator. Knowing this information about the victim, it truly makes me curious as to what exactly occurred on the night of June 1st. El Centro, where Jerry was employed, has a very bad reputation in terms of violating ABC laws, not following CDC guidelines during the COVID pandemic, and for the past 8 months has been a hotspot for roofies. Additionally, rapes and other assaults have been reported at this location as well. With all of this, El Centro has never lost their ABC license or faced any consequences that I am aware of. It makes you wonder, how are they getting by with all of this misconduct? Rumor has it Jerry had ties with the Blacksburg's police department. With this knowledge, understandably speculation, I wonder how this investigation will be handled and if what truly happened June 1st will come to light. Regardless of what Jerry Smith may have been into, murder is a cruel fate, and I am not saying he deserved what happened to him, but I just wanted to share the information I have of the victim prior to the incident, as I feel like it is a crucial piece of this investigation. So this person came forward and they were like, listen, I understand that murder is bad. I understand that murder is wrong. However, this individual has a history, allegedly, of doing some very lewd and crude acts, as well as running a sketchy business that has been the face of a lot of allegations, according to this source, who I have not verified, so I just have to make that clear. There was also another person who came forward, and they were a person under a Facebook thread, and they basically came out with a story, and they said, I think I'm just going to paraphrase from what I read. They said that they woke up in the back of his residence, the residence that he passed away in, the I guess the apartments or wherever. They woke up there unconscious, went to the hospital from that location, and could not recall what happened to them. So they were alleging that they were drugged at the location that he died at, and that they feel like the person who drugged them was Jerry Smith, and they were basically recalling the times that they had a sketchy situation. However, they claim that they do not remember how they got there and what led up before that. That's one of the allegations that was under a Facebook thread that somebody came forward with, along with other receipts of people showing messages from this assumed identity of Angie Renee. Now, you guys let me know what you think about it. What do you think about this young boy, dealing with this situation where he possibly, if, I don't know if he was drugged on the first encounter. Maybe that's why he did not recall or remember that this wasn't actually a woman. I don't know. But the allegations didn't stop there. There was continuous allegations about this Jerry person on Reddit, and the person of the thread had to then lock the thread because there was so many rumors, and they wanted to encourage people to go forward with information that they had with the cops. But there was several people saying that the person that this Virginia Tech football player killed, they were saying that there was a lot of people who had claims of being drugged by him. And there was even people who said that he was the nephew of the mayor. And they were saying that a lot of these things got swept under the rug because he has these big connections, and nothing has never been done about all of the allegations and things that people had against him. There was several people under this post, so many that it's just disturbing that things like this get swept under the rug to the point that it ends up in you linking up with somebody who gonna see about you and do something about it. Now, again, a lot of people were skeptical, and they felt as though, how did he not know that it was a man on the first try and everything like that? Well, if you roofie somebody, they're not really all the way there. They think maybe I got too drunk. They don't really know that, because sometimes you could drink something and you think like, well, dang, I got drunk fast. You know what I'm saying? And not recall. So that could have been the case if these allegations have any merit to them. Again, they're allegations that people are saying, but I'm going to just go through a couple of them so that you guys can see some of the things that these people on Reddit are saying. There was allegations again on Facebook, and there was even people who posted up messages from the account that was assumed by Angie Renee that this boy claimed catfished him. That was actually, from Jerry Smith. So another person, they had an allegation, and they basically said, I have friends who have matched with a person posing as Angie who lives at this same downtown address, an obvious fake Tinder profile, but always asks their matches to come over and have, the hanky-panky. Anyone else run into this same profile? So another user responded and said, she added me on Facebook and would continuously message me asking me to come over to her place on top of the hokey mark for hanky-panky. And then, like last week, I received a friend request from who I thought was Jerry because I already had his number in my phone. But when I looked at the username, it was actually this Angie woman. Okay, so then the conversation continued, and someone says, I suppose this validates the Tinder catfish claim. And the user said his phone number brings up a Snapchat account under the name Angie Renee. A Facebook profile for that individual based out of Blackburg appears to be a legitimate person until you look at their friends list, which is some 1,100 plus young men. Didn't see a single woman. That's very strange. Edit. And for some more proof that Angie Renee and Jerry Smith are the same person, the laptop with the Vineyard Vine sticker on Angie's couch for sale is the same laptop shown in Jerry's August 7th, 2016 Facebook post of a piece of pie. So as you can see, there was a lot of people doing a lot of digging, and they were digging up stuff on the victim, and a lot of people did not feel sympathy for him at all. Now, the Reddit post continues, and it continues with a lot of discussions of people thinking that the Virginia Tech student was R-worded by deception. So they feel as though if you don't consent to an act with the same sex and you pose as a person who is of a different gender and you think you're getting engaged in an act with a different gender, they feel like that is R-word by deception. And a lot of people had a lot of dialogue back and forth about it. And there was also All right, so that's all for my previous video. I am back, present day Neek, talking to y'all. Given the facts of everything we know about this case and what we know about the night in question and how everything went down, what do you think? Do you think that he was still deceived? Do you think that it was not premeditated and that he was just being gullible? Do you think that posing as a woman but not telling people that they're really a man, what fate do you think that person deserves for doing such a thing? Because not only was this person doing this to Atute, the other friends really went into it thinking that this was a woman, but then dipping before any act happened and was like, nah, this is weird. But how many others like Atute? Now, Atute, I feel like he knew, but how many others did Mr. Jerry Smith do the whole fake out, okay, with acting like he was a woman and performing these acts on them unbeknownst to them? What do you guys think overall? Let's talk about it down below. Thank you guys for watching. Now, I have not put this much work into a video in a very long time. I feel like, you know, the other day I did a breakdown of the young girl who had gotten offed by the mom's boyfriend, and then he said that he was innocent. And, you know, that was an all-day event as well. But this video right here, it just really seemed like it just took me so much to put all of the pieces together, because all of the websites were not reporting the full story. Like, I had to really dig to get the line by line accounts. Like, one website would say, okay, the friend and him, they both was supposed to get hanky panky that night. But then another one website, they would skip over that, and then they would start off at the part where, you know, they're standing outside and da-da-da. So like different websites would feel like it was important to highlight different things. So it just really took me a lot to put this together. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Y'all already know to go to my website, period. And if you want to donate, child, I ain't never gonna turn down no donation. Okay. Well, I do turn down some because sometimes it comes behind creep men with ill intentions. But if you got legit support of the page, you know what I'm saying? Neek at Night 12 is the Cash App. So with that being said, we're out. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.